Anyone who studies expedition history, frontier travel, or early military campaigns eventually learns a truth that the average viewer rarely considers. Survival has never been shaped only by weapons, tools, or even skill. Again and again, the thin sheet of material that sheltered a traveler from rain, wind, or snow decided whether a long journey succeeded or failed. Across centuries of human movement, from trappers crossing the Rockies to soldiers marching through monsoon-swamped battlefields, shelter materials quietly influenced human endurance far more than most people realize. Most people picture a tent as something simple, a sheet stretched over rope, a tarp hung between trees, a piece of fabric that keeps the rain off your head. But those who look deeper understand that fabric choice was a kind of technology, a strategic decision that separated the prepared from the desperate. The oilcloth tarps carried by 1830s fur brigades, the heavy cotton duck fly sheets used on early 20th century expeditions, the tightly woven canvas relied on in World War II field camps. These were not just fabrics, they were tools. They were insulation, roofs, walls, and in many cases the final barrier between a traveler and the harshness of the environment. Canvas, in particular, earned a legendary reputation. Strong, repairable, spark-resistant, and stable in storms. It survived thousands of nights in steaming jungles, frozen tundra, and dusty plains. Generations trusted it because it worked. But in the modern era, something unexpected has begun to reshape survival thinking. Not a new fabric engineered for wilderness use, but a material originally designed for buildings. Tyvek. Tyvek was never meant to be part of outdoor gear. It was created as a breathable, water-shedding barrier for houses, a layer that lets moisture escape from walls while blocking outside rain. Yet somehow, almost accidentally, it became one of the most valuable modern materials for shelter making. The reason is simple. Tyvek offers a combination that traditional fabrics have chased for centuries, but rarely achieved all at once. It is waterproof, breathable, rot-proof, tear-resistant, shockingly lightweight, easy to pack, and requires almost no maintenance. For the first time, a material created for construction ended up outperforming fabrics designed specifically for the wilderness. The biggest breakthrough is breathability. Anyone who has slept under plastic tarps or cheap synthetics knows the misery of condensation. Moisture collects on the underside, drips onto your sleeping bag, freezes during winter nights, or creates a damp fog that clings to everything. Canvas avoids some of this problem, but gains weight as it gets wet. Tyvek solves it completely. It allows moisture to escape while stopping rain and melting snow, dramatically reducing condensation even in cold, fire-heated shelters. You can run it as a lean-to with a warm fire in front of you, and instead of waking up soaked, you wake up dry and comfortable. Another advantage is how Tyvek behaves in storms. Traditional canvas absorbs water until it becomes heavy, stretched, and slow to dry. Synthetics can sag or struggle when frozen. Tyvek doesn't absorb water at all. Its weight never changes. It dries instantly. For anyone traveling long distances, hikers, researchers, wildlife trackers, or explorers moving through multiple climates, this matters more than most people think. A lighter, drier tarp doesn't just save energy. It expands your range. It extends how far you can move each day. It allows you to cross entire regions without your shelter ever becoming a burden. Preparing Tyvek takes only a little effort. When new, it's stiff and noisy, more like paper than cloth, but that changes quickly. Crumpling it repeatedly softens it. A cold water wash breaks it in even more. Reinforcing the corners with Tyvek tape or adding sewn loops transforms it into a versatile, rugged tarp capable of being tied down tight or rigged into A-frames, wedges, and windbreaks. Once modified, it survives repeated folding, packing, tensioning, and rough ground contact far longer than its weight would suggest. Many users are surprised by how long a single Tyvek tarp lasts, far longer than people expect of something so light. But the real debate isn't whether Tyvek is good or whether canvas is classic. The real question is which material serves survivalists best in 2025. And that answer depends on context. Canvas remains unmatched for long-term camps, where stability, wind resistance, and spark resistance from constant fires matter for reenactors, bushcrafters, or anyone building a semi-permanent camp. Canvas provides a warm, dependable structure that feels almost like a small cabin. It creates a stable microclimate. It is the king of traditional shelter. Tyvek, however, represents mobility. It is the material for people who move frequently, adapt quickly, cross unpredictable climates, and need their shelter to work everywhere without slowing them down. Modern survival planning involves shifting terrain, rapidly changing weather patterns, and the need to travel light. For these realities, Tyvek becomes the clear winner. It works in forests, deserts, wet climates, alpine regions, and storm seasons without needing to be dried, aired out, repaired constantly, or treated with chemicals. Imagine a researcher traveling between ecosystems, a dense forest one week, an open savanna the next, marshlands after that. Canvas would slow them down, soak up moisture, and demand attention. Tyvek simply works. It is the tarp that survives the journey, maintains its performance, and keeps the traveler mobile. Meanwhile, a historical reenactor running a 3-week camp with an open fire would choose canvas every time. The needs are different, and so are the strengths of the materials. So which one wins for modern survival? For most people, traveling in real-world conditions in 2025, the answer is Tyvek. Its waterproofing, breathability, weight savings, durability, and rot resistance create a level of efficiency that canvas simply cannot match for mobile living. Canvas holds its place and deserves its legacy, but Tyvek defines the new standard. Survival has always been about using the smartest tool for the conditions at hand. In an era where mobility, unpredictability, and environmental extremes are more common than ever, Tyvek gives modern survivalists a quiet but powerful advantage. It offers dryness without weight, strength without bulk, and maintenance-free reliability in almost any climate. Canvas remains the champion of stable camps, but Tyvek is the ruler of travel, the material built for people who move, explore, and adapt across the landscapes of a fast-changing world.